and a half.
Okay.
Allow these people to come in.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you've been busy, haven't you?
Oh yes, very busy, very busy, and I haven't even kept up because I have several interviews where I just then you have to find a date at the same time. You've got children, you've got school, children, all sorts of things, and then you have the downloads coming in between. The job, you have to do the sessions and so on. I actually have a few interviews that I haven't been able to do yet, where have been asked, but also you have to be in line with it, and so I mean, some of them I didn't take, because you also have to. It has to feel good, it has to feel good.
It's gotta. Everything has to align now. If it doesn't,
Yes,
it's a little painful. All right, we got 18 people in the house. Let's see. Okay, sound's working.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is late night for us. We have a double feature. We got you, then Morgana's coming on about half an hour after. Yeah, so that's cool. Let's see. We got Nasia, Michael Fox, Jackie Knott, Elfie Shantz, Michael Kilmer, Kathy Nemeth Serrano. 35 people. Lissy Love, where you been? Hone Edmonds, he's coming on soon. Barb Bradley. Morgana's next. Yeah, this is cool. Let's have a pajama party.
Oh yeah, I just got up. I got up at 6 a.m. to really, I'm not really one for going up early in the morning, but having to do my juicing. I'm on juicing since Sunday. I just juice fast.
How do you like it? How do you like it?
I like it. I love it. It's just like the third day is a bit critical. Then the mental kick in. Like having all sorts of ideas about what you should drink, eat or drink. But it's I'm quite comfortable with it. But it's really boosting up your energy, your vibration, and I needed to do that after the this extreme reset that I went through, that many went through, that has been going on.
That. Let's talk about that. Let me just welcome everybody and welcome to Soul Speaks 5D. Grace Solaris is in the house. We haven't had her on here for a while. She's been on twice. The first time she disappeared and almost transcended in front of everybody. And the second time was in Sedona, so that must have been in September.
Yeah.
So you
went through. Couldn't hear anything because of the high pitched tones, right?
Yeah. That was a crazy time. That Sedona was a crazy time. So you've been going through some stuff. You said that you had a reset, and you think other people have been going through the same thing.
Yeah. That was after. I mean, we had this Acturian, which I do this global activations with the Acturians, and we had a one around. It was at the eclipse actually. And it was really massive, shape shifting you, bringing you to the next level. And then right after that, then came this massive wave into the planet with this galactic plasma coming from somewhere outside of this galaxy. And it clearly wasn't.
You're talking like mid-January, right?
No, I'm talking about just after New Year. There was, you could see, where they monitor all these CMEs coming in, the solar flares and all that. And you could see it was boosting route, but it wasn't onto the Earth, but it wasn't from our sun, right? It wasn't from the sun behind our sun. It was from somewhere else. And there were so many people that could feel it. And so you really, wow, it was this massive wave of energy. And you really, a lot of people felt it. And then right after that, I think maybe it was 2-3 days, then there was a lot of people that just got totally flattened out, either with flu or with this. But a lot of people had that, which I experienced, was issues with the neck and back. Yeah. And I kept on asking my guide, what is this about? And I was just totally flat now. And they told me that it was a reset a complete reset of your cellular system and also your central nervous system. Yeah. And I posted about it, and there was really, I mean, loads and loads, hundreds of people that told that they had the same issues. So there was something going on. And I'm sure it was triggered through that that high vibrational energies, the galactic plasma that came in. And then, of course, we had this shortly before. There was also 440 people that were on this Arcturian activation that we had, which was a downloading.
I was going to ask you that. Now, when did you do that? Did you do that after these things happened?
At the lunar eclipse that was at the blood moon.
27.
Yeah.
January.
So this came right, almost at the same time with this massive wave. It came right after the wave came right after that. I don't know if it had any influence on that. I don't. Doesn't matter. But it came almost together, and this was this downloading of the 144 tones of creation, which they told me is this ancient, it's basically the hieroglyphs of the universe, and it's really to anchor in this new Christ grid, where all is unison, with the divine feminine and masculine. And they talk about, everyone talks about it now, how important it is with sound now.
Yeah.
So in the previous years we were a lot about light, but I really believe that sound is really the new medicine. So
that's come up this past week. It's come up a couple of times.
Yeah.
Came up with me a little bit too. Morgan and I, the experiences we've had since 1st of January, they correlate with yours. The electrical, the nervous system, the back pain, the getting laid out. Maybe not all at the same time, but it felt like a reset. It felt like the container was being cleaned out totally, physically. And well, what about, and now this transmission that you did, were you transmitting or were you receiving anything? The Arcturian
it's always like this with, not always, but with these Arcturian activations that I do, it mostly goes like this. I receive downloads and activations some weeks before, and it's been going on for more than a year now. When it first happened, I was just told to share it, and then it started to just show that every month there was something happening, and I get new information every time, and it's all about restructuring the new body, because we are going to get more and more crystalline, right? And we used to have, our bodies were carbon based, right? In this density, in this physicality, we were carbon based, every cell. And then through years now, we have been transmuting, or the body's been transmuted, or is still going on, into silicon based, right? Basically, we're turning into crystals, And
we're
it's
turning
like
into galactics. We're taking our spacesuit off layer by layer. And so it's like we're getting. You can also say you're getting dolphin-like, in our intelligence at least. And so all these activations has been about upgrading our system, and receive, because it has been tampered with, through interventions of throughout history, through interventions of whatever. We don't need to name them. Some are galactic, some are reptilians. There have been different, let's just say, entities that had their own agenda. And, for many thousands of years since the fall of Atlantis, there has really been, our DNA has been tampered with. So all the angelic galactic stuff has been, that
you can say things have been extracted, things have been changed, so we would not be in alignment with our, with our avatar consciousness that we really are. And so the Acturians are here to really help us to reconnect with that, to activate that. So it's a lot about rewiring. You get downloads. I got information about, for example, the 13th DNA strand. And every time that all these things happen, I get information I don't know, I just accept it, and I just know what they do to me, every time it takes me a level higher, I get more clarity, I get, it's a quantum leap.
I think it's contagious. I think it's happening. Whatever was extracted from us is being put back in. I think the more conscious we are of that, the quicker and more expansive, we are, and everything is. But, I think there's a lot of that going on. I really do.
There is.
And then we have the human side, right?
Oh yes, yes.
Straight human side. I saw this great quote.
An ego, yes.
Right. I saw this great quote tonight. Not to me, this is like a quote of a starseed waking up. Right. I saw this great quote from Philip K. Dick. He says, "I experienced an invasion of my mind by a transcendently rational mind, as if I had been insane, as if I had been insane all of my life, and suddenly I had become sane."
Yeah.
Right. I think if we think back to those days when we really started to realize what was going on and what was happening as we were receiving transmissions, and now to be here, there's been a video. Morgan's been talking to some ladies, people taking pictures, video of craft. It's getting bigger. They're getting bigger and bigger, more visible. We've had it, encounters where they're telling us basically we're getting, we're being upgraded. They're upgrading us. They're preparing us to have a full-blown physical encounter. So everything seems to be, the veils are I guess they're gone, and we're moving through it as quick as we can. Have you had any experiences with visitations? With you seen any lights or anything like that? You had anything go on like that?
Oh, yes.
Physical.
Yes, I do. Actually, where we are living, so when you are at my sister's house, there's a certain place where they just hang around there. I mean, they don't. It's not like somebody walked out or something, but you can clearly feel them that they are there, and you can exclude any other craft or any other thing, and they always have it's almost like we're here, hi, and but there's no, they don't intervene in that way, but they're there. But for me, it's more like, I can always feel their presence. I very much feel them, right? You can really feel this, and then when I close our eyes, I can see them. So I have this inner vision. When I use my inner vision, I really feel that they're really lined up, fleets and fleets. I mean, it's massive. It's massive. We don't talk about hundreds, it's thousands and thousands.
Yeah.
But it's just as present. They at least that's my feeling, and that's what I've been told. They cannot and will not, at least at present, intervene because they are not here to be our saviors.
No,
right?
It's against universal law.
Yeah. So yes, of course, and it's a free will zone, so they couldn't even do that. So it's a lot about us stepping into sovereignty, and to, also to grow enough in or expand enough in consciousness to understand, not to like either fear them, as there's still a lot of fear around it, and then there's those they almost like we already see evidence of that in ancient times, that they had been worshipped as gods, because we are one and the same.
Do you let me ask you a question. In your interpersonal interaction and connections. You know, do you feel a sense of oneness? Do you feel a sense that even in the physical world, there is more oneness just creeping in as a consciousness?
Yeah, I really feel so. You know, but I guess it's also when you are in 5D, you know, you can still, you know, 3D is still there. You can see it's going on. You can see the frustrations, the fear, the anxiety, and all that, which we all can drop into again and again, right? It's not that you're in 5D and then you're just there all the time. You know, there are times you can get challenged or triggered, but it's like I'm just having, you know, loving experiences with everyone. You know, I mean, I'm just feeling a oneness, and I'm so it's like 3D is still there, but if you deal with it from a 5D perspective, yeah, you will have this feeling of oneness. You will have experiences of oneness because you interact on a 5D level, on a 5D vibration, and that will naturally be reflected back to you. Yes, you know what I mean?
No, so, I mean, you know, there's been, you know, people say things, they're saying the same thing in different ways. Some people, like you, talk to the Arcturians, you know. I think they were in the room.
So I think when I speak with people who are like 3D and not spiritual at all or not, you know, and I can see it, and we see, and I often think about, wow, you're so wise to know what you're saying, you know, and this is just, you know, normal people haven't dealt with all that, but I feel as a lot of people, they are just, they wouldn't call themselves spiritual, but it's just spreading out, and there's so many, it's just, I don't feel many are not even aware of it, you know, that, you know, you're, of course, there's still many in fear and in victimhood, right? That's of course a big one, right?
Do you think more people are taking responsibility for themselves in the community, in the light worker community, or the people you've known since you've been in doing this?
Yeah, it feels like it. It feels like really.
I mean, there's.
Yeah, it feels like people are, you know, coming to understand that, you know, you cannot just count on, you know, that somebody's going to do it for it, your government or something else. It really feels like many people are like, they just had it, you know, they had it, you know, so they start to apply their sovereignty in, you know, more or less degree, you know, because they simply had it. And that's when you come to this point where you just had it, you know, the glass is full, you know, then you start automatically just to do things differently. Yeah. So I feel there's a lot of awakening going on. It's like a still awakening for some people, and then of course there's people that are having extreme experiences, but because the world is turned upside down. And I believe that 2019 it's actually going to be the year where, I mean, when this year is over, you will not believe it. You will not believe what we're going to see this year of disclosure and of, I would really dare to say there will be a mass awakening. You know, when you everyone talked about 2012 and which was a time window, we know that. But I really feel that, yes, the window was open, the massive energy started to come in for awakening and all that. But this is really going to be the year where you will see a mass awakening, you know.
People are always talking about the disclosure in the external. I'm more interested in the disclosure in the internal.
Yes,
I think that's where this whole thing's driven.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, a lot of people talking about this event thing. I simply don't believe in it. I don't. I think but it's the increase of energies of, you know, this galactic consciousness that is just pouring in, and it's like it's really being, you know, the volume is really being increasing rapidly now. I mean, because it was more slowly, you know, and the downloads. So this is really picking up momentum. It's really accelerated now.
Yeah.
And that will force people, you know, to open up. I mean, you have no option, you know. You can go into resistance and all that, but things will just be showed to you even more clearly, you know. So I don't see it, when I say this mass awakening, I don't mean through an external event. I just mean simply through the rising of the frequency. That you know, you're simply forced, you know, when you really have the mirror so clearly in front of you, you just cannot. It's like a piece of cork from a piece of wine. Cork, you say cork, you know, you could press it underwater, you know, but it will keep coming up and smashing over your face, you know.
That's
so
right.
you won't have an option, really, you know.
I think it's forcing people to, you know, with the energies being what they are, you probably ought to spend all your time with yourself, not worrying about other people. Because it takes everything you got. You know what I mean? Because you're right. It is like that. It's like that wine bottle with the cork. It's just going to keep coming back and keep coming back and keep coming back.
Stronger and stronger. Stronger and stronger. Yeah. So you know, people of course start to question things, and they will start to get spontaneous openings, you know, of expansion of awareness, spiritual experiences, you know, which are all new to them. So Kundalini, yes, soulgasm, exactly. Yeah, that's great, you know. Yeah, we gotta get used to that frequency, because
bilocation,
that's really,
teleportation.
Yes, traveling through wormholes.
Yeah, Morgan did last night.
Yeah, you told me
about 3 days before that too. No, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff happening. You know, I mean, it's everywhere. And people are receiving these essences and these galactics and these transmissions and downloads and channels. And that's what I was saying earlier, was that they might look a little bit different, but they're all starting to say the same thing.
Yeah.
And there seems to be the second half of February, a big, you know, another big wave, like around the 1st and around that blood moon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, many are talking about this. But it's just, I see it increasing, ever big waves coming in, and so this big event is just, it's coming in waves, actually, you know. Because otherwise, you know, it would just be a total breakdown. It wouldn't really serve us, you know. I don't believe so. It would serve us. So it's much better in this more smooth way. Of course, it's not smooth to everyone, depending how much they are resisting, of course.
Yeah. So with this transmission on the tones, the 144 tones, is that right?
Yeah.
Did you receive any of the tones? Can you capture any of the tones?
I heard some of the tones. It's not that I heard every 144 of the tones, but I had in the previous, you know, I had several activations that led up to it, and I got a lot of tones, both through high-pitched tones. But when I was in meditation, there was even a time when I was in a session that it also started to come through. A session with a client, it started to come through also. So, but it was like that I received every tone, and I could, you know, name them and pick them in and all that. So it's basically something that was downloaded, and I was told that we will automatically, we will just intuitively know how to apply these tones, you know, and it will be different for each of us. But it's all tones of, it's like, what you call them,
tuning forks.
Yeah, it's tuning forks also. And actually, we are tuning forks, because each of us, we are one tone. Yes, we are one tone, and when we come together, we can really create everything, really, right? So it's about this particular combination of tones that can so of course also in the soul monad we have, and that's why it's so important that the soul monads come to the oversoul, right?
Can you explain to me what you understand the soul monad is? Is it composed of 12 parts, something like that, 13 parts?
The soul monad is, as far as I have seen and been informed, 144 souls, right? And so it goes, some call it the oversoul, some call it the monad, the monadic essence, if you like. And I mean, I can really feel it when I'm in, because soul family, there's soul groups, there's soul family, but when you come down to this, it's like the tractor, so it just comes down like this, and when you come down to the soul monad, this is the 144, right? So each of that 144, they have their particular, you can say, their soul's essence, their soul's signature as a tone. Yes. And I actually, we actually did that in an earlier activation of the with the Acturians, where we were each receiving our tone. It's something that you can, I mean, you can tune into it. You can just ask to hear it, to receive it. And this tone is also will really help you to open up your consciousness. It will, you know, it's basically restoring everything and expanding, you know, so you get into this galactic consciousness that you are, which also includes angelic, because we are all angelic also. Yeah. So it's, absolutely. So you can really ask to.
And do you, I know you talk. I know you call them on the phone all the time. No, I know you connect with Arcturians and Mother Mary and some angelic,
many different ones.
So, but when it comes to the galactics, like you're connected to the Arcturians, do they talk about the other star families and the cooperative effort that's going on?
Yes. Because they work together. They work together with many other star families, especially with Lyrans, Andromedas. I mean, that's what I had. I mean, but you know, they are all playing different parts. They are all assisting us in different ways, right? So what I am, you know, the thing that I am blessed to do with the Acturians is more about upgrading our body so that we really get into this galactic consciousness. I mean, I guess they're all doing it in different ways, right? I can only talk for this thing, you know, and as I said, it's been going on for a year now, and it's really about upgrading the DNA, you know, what they call the junk DNA, you know. So when I've had these global activations taking place, they do work side by side with other star families, with other galactics.
Yeah.
So you know, this is just one little part of it. You know, everyone is bringing a piece of the puzzle. You know, and as you said, it's slightly maybe different in how it's worded or whatever, because they use the potential that each person has, you know, based on our galactic imprinting from different star systems, depending on you know what vocabulary they can use, you know, depending on our experiences in this lifetime, in all the parallel lives that we are having. So I don't speak so much about you know, previous incarnations, because it's become more and more clear to me, and this is really surrealistic when you experience it, that it's actually all happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think this incarnation is the most important one.
Yes.
Otherwise, because we have all those aspects. Yeah. We have them all. you know,
Yes.
and you're not going to be Grace again, and I'm not going to be Todd again.
No.
So
No.
let's raise the roof, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really about at this time, you know, to embrace all those aspects, you know, and don't put any labels on yourself. You know, I can only be this and that. You know, we are multiple dimensional beings, you know, as well as being human, right? Being human is simply just because we are in this physicality right now, and you name it, human, yeah. But we are in this physical dense body, yes. But our soul, our essence, is actually not even. I mean, I don't even see it as a being. A being is like an abstract of this wholeness that you are, which is pure consciousness. Yes, we are all, you know, soul. Yes, we are soul. We are source. Really, all that is, and that includes everything. You know, I'm Jesus. You know, I'm Jesus. I'm Archangel Michael. I'm
right.
Asta. I'm everyone. You know, and it's all in there, and to recognize, to say yes. You know, I really think it's a lot about saying yes and not being in all this resistance. And when you do so, you open up portals inside of yourself where you can really connect with this consciousness, with this wisdom, and with this love, and all these different aspects, you know, that are all different signatures, all different tastes or tones or whatever you want to call them, that just makes you vaster. It makes you vaster. It's a flavor. It's something that, you know, and each of them connects you with a piece of source. So the more that you allow to connect with and merge with, you know, the better, because it just makes you more and more whole. And you know, I start to feel, though I'm still human in many ways, you know, I am human. That's the main thing, you know, being here, you know, I have to deal with that. But I start to experience this humanness more like a consciousness that is experiencing being a human. If you understand what I mean.
Being a human,
Yes.
with all this information coming in, right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's like there was a meme. I was telling Morgan about it. The cartoon meme, and the woman's, it's a husband and a wife, and the woman to walk through the wall, and she says, "I'm going down to Venus. I'll be back tonight for dinner."
Yes.
I think we're headed for that. I think we're headed for this. I really do. I don't think it's coming. There's so many things happening where people, in one way or another, may not look the same. It may be a ghost, and it may be a galactic, and it may be a divine essence, and it may be an animal, and it may be nature. But the veil is not, it's not thinning. It's gone. It's just a matter of how we acclimate to it, which externally it looks like we're getting help from galactics and divine essences, but really we're running all this too. We have an equal part in it. An equal part in it. And that's really the 50-50 of the universe in us. Yeah. Now, last year you're always connecting to the Arcturians. And I think I told you last summer they came into my hotel room one night. It was pretty crazy. But right after that, we did another show, and well, that first one you did, I think it was a Mother Mary. I know you're the Mother Mary.
Mary Magdalene. Right? Mary Magdalene. When I was translucent and that. That was when I channeled Mary Magdalene.
Yeah. Now, have you been getting much intel or having communion or connection with the Mother Goddess energy, the Divine Feminine energy, Magdalene, that type of thing?
Yes, I do get messages as I share along the time. You know that it's I share a lot of messages about the reemergence of the goddess, and about, and that's what I felt now. It's like, and that was again around New Year. Mary Magdalene has been giving me messages about already a year before that, you know, saying that she's really coming in and taking over the scepter of, like, being, it's not about being more or less, but it's like she's the shepherd of reality. So she's like the you could say the flame of truth. Yes, it has been handed over to her, being the you know, you can't say the leading aspect, but it's like it's the shepherd. Yes, so that the divine masculine, which have been the dominant factor the last thousands and thousands of years, that it has been given over. No, a shift has taken place, and she had talked to me about that for, you know, more than 2 years actually. And I also feel that this shift has really taken place now, right? So it will be, so she's like, because it's through the divine feminine, she's really always in alignment with divine will, right? She's in her heart, not to say that divine masculine is not in the heart, but she is the one that is the giver of life, and she's connected to the womb, you know, where all is born from. So she's the life giver, and through her, creation is taking place. And so the divine masculine is, you know, like implementing, you could say, what she's, yes. So as a shepherd, okay. So they are both equals, but it's just like, you know, one has to, you know, they have playing different roles, and she's kind of the shepherd for reality, for the creation, that everything will now come into balance. Yes, because that has, that which have brought all this